Erin, Paul, great to see you, but welcome to Pop Alternative.
It's so good to see you.
Well, welcome back to Pop Alternative. You're both like starting to become like regulars on our show.
It's about damn time too, you know?
No, it's Hallmark just bringing us together. That's what it is, right? Let's be honest.
The Hallmark family.
Christmas at the Catnip Café is going to be out really soon. Erin, do you get used to that kind of week before a film comes out, or is it always a different feeling for you?
It's always a different feeling. It's always a different feeling. And this one, I was so excited about. You know, I was pretty like yes, please to people who reach out to me about interviews because I'm really excited about this one. Mm-hmm. And it's not that there's something particularly unique that I'm like people are never going to see it coming. It's that it's so sweet and authentic. And Paul Campbell, I'm just gonna I said it in a couple interviews, like him in that vet costume with the cat. Come on.
No.
Like that's I mean. So
I'm the catnip. I'm the catnip in the cafe.
How have you not said that before? How have I not said that? Wait.
I mean, I feel like once we were talking about it, you know, Pop Alternative posted about this film. It did really well. I mean, people love the cats. Like there are cats in this film. And I wanted to know, Paul, it's like, you know, when you read a script for something like this, you know, and then you go film it, do you picture everything kind of like, do you picture the cafe and the cats, or does it only kind of like sink in and hit you when you get there and see everything?
I think I learned the lesson pretty early on to have no expectations of anything because you're almost certain to be, I don't want to say disappointed, but the reality never meets the expectations. Sometimes it exceeds, sometimes it's just vastly different. I did picture just having cats crawl all over me and just fighting them off. We didn't get to film that scene, but in my mind, it was just a cat bonanza. It's unfortunate because that would have made for some great cinema. But you know what's funny? I knew what the relationship between Erin and I would be. I knew how that whole story would go. I knew how the scenes would feel. I kind of went in knowing, I'm like, I just know what it's going to be. Because I know Erin personally, I've spent a lot of time around her. Like, you carry so much of yourself. I do. I carry so much of myself into these movies, and I've seen Erin on screen, and I'm like, I know what this is going to be. In terms of everything else, no, I kind of just had zero expectations, and in this case, I was really, really blown away by the production value, by the sets, by everything. They went over and above, and it's beautiful.
Absolutely. And Erin, kind of like perfect segue to that is like, because I asked you this, Paul, last time we talked about Three Wiser Men. There's like, you could look at this film as like, it's like, you know, a comedy about cats that, you know, takes place at Christmas time, holidays, or you could look at it as like it's a holiday film, as a Christmas film that has cats in it. Is that interesting for you, Erin? Look, like from past Hallmark films and these films to know like what kind of film is it? Because you look at it both sides of things, right? Like, was this like a cat film that was during the holidays? Was it the other way around? Like, what was that like for you?
I love that question. That's such a great question because because the title is very cat forward, and I saw the title and I was like, oh, okay, here we go. But no, but I think for me, it went from one to the other. Mm-hmm. It went like, before I read the script, I was like, oh, okay, it's a movie about cats at Christmas. And then I read the script, and I was like, oh no, it's a movie about these two beautiful people, and the cats are beautiful. To me, like a lovely background. They weren't like the crux of the story. They weren't an imperative piece of the story, but they're a big part, and they're an adorable part.
Yeah.
There's certainly no denying the involvement of cats in the movie, but yes, no, it is at its core like a beautiful romantic Christmas movie.
Yeah. It's always crazy too when I like watch a movie that's about music or like a sports movie. It's like Is this like an action movie that just happens to do with like a band, or is this like a music movie?
Like Die Hard is
like okay, that was the whole thing. Yeah, oh my goodness. Okay, you brought it up there. I could see it as it is a Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas
movie. It's a Christmas movie. What defines a Christmas movie? I mean, I think
it takes place during Christmas, right?
Yeah. Well, that's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds. Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds is one of my favorite rom-coms. That is a Christmas movie. It takes place
100% a Christmas movie.
100%.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Paul, I did want to ask you, it's very interesting because, in a lot of these, rom-coms and films on Hallmark that take place during the holidays, it's interesting, right? Because you have a lot of these really kind of like warm hug, cozy moments with like, and the microscope is on this, couple and everything, and you're rooting for them and everything. But there's a lot of kind of like self-reflection and a lot of figuring things out. And a lot of people, are lost around the holidays sometimes. I'm just wondering, from an acting perspective, is it more fun or challenging or overwhelming to play these kind of lost characters doing self-reflection during the holidays? Because from the viewer perspective, they don't know they're lost. So what do you think about that specifically?
That's a great question. I mean, I think first of all, they know exactly what they're like. Oh, we need a guy who's lost and self-reflective around the holidays. Who should we get? Who should we get? I didn't even know there's cameras on. I just come in lost and self-reflecting. I think it's really thoughtful of Hallmark to lean into these types of stories, and a lot of that has to do with listening to their audience. And we hear, particularly now that these big fan events have, they have become a bigger and bigger thing every year, and we're getting a lot of face-to-face discussion with our audience, with the demographic, and we're hearing stories from person after person about how they were touched by a certain aspect of the story. And usually it's not the decorating the tree. Usually it is that moment where, we talk about things that are maybe a little more challenging. We don't often discuss at the dinner table. It is sort of, the holidays are notorious, particularly Christmas, for bringing up all of those feelings, because it is a time of joy and celebration and family and love. And if those things are absent in your life, it's highlighted, and so to be able to tell stories about characters that are struggling with real things and having real crises, and coming to grips with where they are in their life, and sort of trying to figure out what it is to be happy, or what it is that makes them happy. These are the kinds of stories that we want to be telling. Yep. And time again, we find that they resonate the most with the audience. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the fact that we get to lean more deeply into these characters and these storylines is really rewarding as an actor and a creator.
Yeah. Erin, what is the name of your dog?
Wow, I was wondering how loud she was, and that was it loud.
What? No, what is it? What is the name of your dog?
Crumpet.
Crumpet! This is an interview about Christmas at the Catnip Café. Stop stealing the spotlight.
They called her Trumpet.
I did. Actually, the amount of times that's happened, and I'm like,
I was excited. No, as soon as I heard the dog, but no, it was great. But I just like I had to do that bit. I was like a last minute comedian there, Paul.
Crumpet's getting jealous. Crumpet's had enough of all this cat talk.
Amazing.
It's so great. Look at that ding dong. What a great dog.
Are we gonna have some comments like this is supposed to be a cat interview?
She's like a cat. She's the size of a cat. She just went.
Erin, I did want to ask you, because I asked Paul this last time we talked for Three Wiser Men. There's so many different ways, we're watching things now, right? Like from a TV perspective and from a movie perspective. Movies, you can go to the theaters, there's streaming, there's the film festival run. TV, you can binge shows all at once. You could wait for the week-to-week drop. People can watch things on their phone, on their computers. Like, are you ever conscious of how the media you are making is being like consumed or watched while you're making it at all? Like, do you think about those things?
Sometimes, but only from like for me anyway. I don't know, Paul, and I want to know if it's the same for you. From like a retroactive, just like observation, because it used to be if you did a guest on a network show, if it was a hit show, it was, it was like a big deal, let alone if you were on a series or whatever. And then I just think, especially television is consumed, like television movies are just consumed so differently. Everything is. So yeah, I thought about it for sure, but I don't know if I thought about it while I'm doing it other than in those terms, other than looking back and kind of going, wow, the landscape has changed so much, you know? So
I love this.
you guys, she's not been in an interview in so long. She was getting very jealous.
No, it was great. I love.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille.
I mean,
No,
look at that face.
it's true. Well, Paul, it's interesting too because it's like, you know, I think, you know, you even look at like, you know, the apps on phones, right? Like Hallmark Plus, like the streaming, like it's just interesting to think about like all like the content being watched on like mobile devices now, right? Like the smaller screens. Because you also write too, right? So I found that really interesting as well.
I don't think it really necessarily informs the way that we create, you know, for anybody that's entering as a performer, I think you just try to be as authentic and, you know, as truthful and as intimate as you would if it was for a big theatrical release. You know, you can't really think of how people are viewing it. And also I would say I feel like largely our audience is an audience that watches at home on their TV in their living room. Like they're still probably more than any other audience. They view in more traditional ways. And obviously Hallmark Plus is gaining a lot of momentum. People are turning to the streamer.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to watch this movie on their phone, they're welcome to it. I
Yeah.
don't think it's going to be the best viewing experience.
Mhm.
But to be able to also have access to these movies on your phone so you can watch it on a plane or a tablet, you know, I think
Mhm.
that's extraordinary. And I
Absolutely.
don't movies lose too much viewing it on a smaller screen, you
Yep.
know.
Oh my gosh, I
Uh,
watch like half my movies on planes.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we all
Absolutely.
kind of do now, you know, it's the thing. But I think our performances, maybe there's like an instinct to just get really big. So you jump off that little screen, like, I think I'm in love with you. The guy just done his wow, geez. I don't know. I wouldn't, I don't even, and as a writer, I don't think, unless you want to start talking about verticals and all of
Yeah.
that sort of new
Microdramas and all that.
media,
Yeah.
but that's not where my interests lie.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I always find it really cool, Aaron, with, you know, like Hallmark specifically, like Christmas movies in general, there's never like there's kind of this like evergreen kind of no shelf life where like films that came out, you know, 10 years ago, people are going to kind of rewatch them around the holidays. I find it very interesting too, because another thing with Hallmark movies and Hallmark Christmas movies specifically is one, like I said, the no shelf life, the rewatching the movies, right? But the marathons and the binging back to back movies, like that's the thing I think about with Hallmark, right? Like you're gonna be like at home on a Sunday, just watch like 5 or 6 Hallmark films, Christmas films. Like when did you start thinking about that? The marathon culture working in Hallmark, was that early on? Has it been more recently? Like I'm curious about that.
You know, I didn't experience it until after I started working with the network. But
Yeah.
and then Paul, you too, like I it's people talk about it. They talk about how they do that. They talk about how they'll put it on when they come home from work and they'll just leave it on until they go to bed. And I recently did that with Hallmark, and I will do that too if I turn it on. It's like, you know, because you can, you know, it draws you in. It draws you in, but also it's something you can leave on that's comforting if you need to do things. And I know, Paul, I mean, I'm sure you've heard this, like we've so many people, not necessarily first, yeah, so many like first responders, so many people in the front of like the you know, the people who that save lives,
Yeah.
really turn to Hallmark. They get home from the hospital, they get home from the, you know, the precinct or wherever, and they turn it on because it's a warm hug.
Mm-hmm.
And it is binge worthy. You can leave it on. Like I literally had it on the other day all day.
Yeah.
And also selfishly now I'm like, oh, that's my friends. Oh, I had
Well,
to see that.
especially too, like with the Brenner movies, man, like the Three Wise Men, like
Oh.
those, like literally, like that's gonna be like a binge for years now. Like we're
Binge
like everyone.
trilogy.
Truly binge trilogy.
Yeah, thank you.
Binge
That's really kind of to say. I think, you know, it is let's sort of just to add on to what Aaron said, like people do, you know, is the binging is so much just for the comfort and familiarity of these movies. The reason that these movies are so popular is because, I mean, they're really sort of they're deceptively complicated in their simplicity, these movies. And, you know, they seem on the surface like simple movies, but there is they're challenging to find the right tone. It's really challenging to find the right thing, the right ethos, the right message, the right feeling. It's not an easy thing to do. And I know a lot of actors have tried to act in Hallmark movies and they can't really do it. They can't find the right thing. And that secret recipe is why people, like Erin said, they'll come home from work and they'll leave it on until they go to sleep. Like, there's something really comforting about these movies. And I think that's more the binging than like have to see the next episode. I have to know. People are watching these movies for the dozenth time,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
absolutely. No, absolutely. And this Sunday, November 30th, Christmas at a Catnip Cafe is going to be on Hallmark channel, which is so exciting. I'm
Next day on Hallmark Plus too. I'll add
Yes.
that next day on Hallmark Plus.
absolutely, which is so great. All right, we're going to do something really fun and quick. I hope I've been doing a lot of interviews. I need a break from hosting. So I want you both to ask each other a question about filming that maybe you haven't asked each other before. I definitely put you on the spot. So think about it for a bit, but what's a question about filming Christmas at the Catnip Cafe that you can both each ask each other before we wrap up quickly?
First of all, this is why I always love to talk to you.
Yeah.
You've got the most amazing energy, but you're so creative and fun and invested, and you really care, and it really shows.
That means a lot. Thank you for saying that.
It's not
Yeah.
just like normal questions, like tell us a funny story behind the scenes, or it's really that was really, really clever, and I love the way in. I'm tired of hosting. You do it.
I appreciate that. But yeah, anything specifically like about the film?
Oh, about the film, I was gonna ask Paul.
Or like
Okay.
well, it doesn't matter. Usually it doesn't
I've
matter.
got a question. Erin.
Oh.
Was there a scene in the movie when, and you know, we're very self-aware when we make these and as actors, but was there a scene in the movie that when they yelled cut and we were moving on, you were like, I nailed that. Like, you walked away going, I absolutely nailed that scene. And it could be anything. It could be like a heavy dialogue scene or maybe something that going in you weren't too sure about, but you walked away going, bam,
Wow, that was a
nailed
great
You know
question.
what?
Paul's coming from my gig. That was a great question.
it. There you go.
really wish that you had been the last one. We might just have to leave it at that. But you have to answer the same thing. Actually, that's my question back. Ha. And yes, I'm not above just stealing your question. I don't know that I would say I walked away feeling like yes, I felt. I don't know that I have it in me. It's been very rare that I've been like, oh, there's nothing else I could do with that scene, because I think you and I both have it, which I think is part of the reason that there's a divine dissatisfaction. Like, I could do it 1,000,000 times, and I would have to like exhaust myself to be done. So I don't know that I have that moment, but I do have that was so gratifying. That felt so good, and this is what it's like to. This is why I got into it. It's I have it in both sides, the puppet show and then the breakup scene. And then for different things. The puppet show just because it was fun, and then the breakup scene because it was so real.
Mm.
So for me, I loved those. I walked away from those being like, that's why I got into this. That was fun.
Those are
I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think I've
Yeah,
said
both ends of the spectrum. The silliness and the sort of frantic, overlapping dialogue of the puppet scene, and that was really challenging too. And then the breakup, because we dropped right into that, and it was really that felt really real and
it broke my heart. Broke my heart when you sat down on the
Broke my-
table and
Yeah.
just the look you gave me. I was like, Paul Campbell. Ben. Paul, what about you? What's your scene that you felt that about? That you were like, drop the mic, did it?
I think I really liked the scene, and I know it's been cut down quite a bit. And P won't know this, but the scene after our big kiss, and this was the scene where I show up the next morning with coffee.
Oh,
I liked that scene a lot because, pardon me, Lucy, our director, first of all, had such good direction for that scene, and we both were on our heels in a way in the movie because we both come in, pretty in charge, pretty in control of everything. And because we'd had that moment the previous night and it was really romantic, to both come in almost in like a slightly childlike way and be a little bit on our heels and a little uncomfortable, but then also refine the intimacy and the romance in that scene, which actually didn't make it into the final cut as far as I know, but there's still elements of it there. And then, I think just the leaving and Lucy she's like, what if you trip on your way out? What if you stumble and fall? And to be able to, we just found a different tone for that scene that we had in any other scene in the movie. And sometimes those are risky because you're really stepping outside of what has become familiar. And both of us were so engaged in it. And we filmed that before we had filmed the kiss, right? We filmed that scene before we filmed the kiss the night before.
Yeah.
So you don't even know what you're working from, what the jumping off point is. You have to find the right tone for a scene that has a phantom opening or nothing to inform
A
it.
phantom kiss.
It was a phantom kiss. It was an idea of what and it was really lovely. And I left feeling like we nailed that scene. I was really proud of that.
Wow, that was great. Both of like that. Those were great answers. That was such a good question too, Paul. I mean,
Thanks.
That was great. But I can't wait for people to check out the film. Like you said, Hallmark Channel, and then the day after Hallmark Plus. Erin, Paul, great to see you both again. Thank you so much for your time. It was so great chatting with you both.
You too.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us. I'm really joyful to be here.
Of course. No, anytime. Well, this has been PopTurnitive, youtube.com/PopTurnitive for previous episodes. Until next time, it's Erin, Paul, and Petey Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to PopTurnitive. Make sure to check out our past episodes of PopTurnitive on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.